Good morning. This morning I'm in John chapter 12, and as with many of these chapters, there's a tussle between good and bad. So we'll start off in verse 27, excuse me, where John is talking about the disbelief of the Jews. He says, though they had been present when he gave so many signs, they did not believe in him. They'd seen all these miracles that came from the power of God and yet couldn't believe in him. Unbelievable. Why? Well, John goes on to explain, and he quotes from Isaiah, where he said that he has blinded their eyes, he has hardened their hearts. Their hearts are turned to stone. And here we are, for fear they should see with their eyes and understand with their hearts. It's not a case of understanding with your mind, although that is important, but your heart has got to be in it. Now, I want to quote from William Barclay a moment. And he was explaining how Jesus was grieved at the hardness of the heart of the Jews. He said they had so long identified religion with rules and regulations that they couldn't recognize real religion when they saw it. They had so legalized religion that they had forgotten human sympathy. Watchtower has done the same thing with their rules and regulations. Elders keep to the rules. There's no room for heart. There's no room for reason or logic. Just obey the rules. Your heart is not in it. But let's look at this chapter a moment. I want to look at the essence of this chapter. It's 6 days before Jesus is going to die, and he knows that, and it's weighing on his mind. So as you read through it later, and I'd be glad if you would, because I'm leaving out a lot of detail, bear in mind that Jesus is about to die. So he's explaining to his disciples why he has to die and preparing them for what's to come. He explains, unless a wheat grain falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single grain. But if it dies, it yields a rich harvest. If you sow the seeds, you're going to reap a good harvest. So likewise, if Jesus dies, gives his life for us, we will get eternal life. And all being well, there'll be a rich harvest for Jesus Christ. Now it is weighing on his mind, as it says in verse 27, my soul is troubled. But he says to God in verse 28, Father, glorify your name. And a voice comes out of heaven, a most amazing thing. And the voice says, I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again. God has glorified his name in creation. And if you look around at creation, maybe read a book of biology. Try to read it, and you'll see how amazing creation is. It's taken a genius to get this earth together, for all the systems to work for our good, and the generosity of our God works to his glory. But God is going to glorify his name by resurrecting Jesus, and this resurrection is what is going to sow the seeds of Christianity as it spreads throughout the world. But we come back to religion again. Religion cannot be enacted by rules and regulations. So is there anything in this chapter that comes from the heart? Yes, there is. In the first few verses of chapter 12, we have Jesus in the village of Bethany with his friends Lazarus and his 2 sisters. Martha is waiting on them, giving them a nice dinner. But Mary brings out a pound of very costly ointment, pure nard. Now this ointment possibly comes from India, from the spikenard plant. And it's a good investment because the oil will keep in an alabaster case. It'll keep its value. But Mary is going to bring it out. Why? because she appreciates what Jesus has done by resurrecting her brother. She's now got her brother back, and of course her joy has filled her heart to show this appreciation. So she pours it on Jesus' feet and wipes it off with her hair. Can you imagine the warmth of an evening in Palestine? And the scent now fills the house. It must have been wonderful. Now, what Mary doesn't realize is that Jesus appreciates this more than she realizes, because his body is not going to be embalmed with the oils as normal. So Mary is preparing Jesus' body for his death, and it must have given him a little bit of comfort. Kindness and appreciation goes a long way, and it gives you heart to face the ordeals ahead. So Jesus would have derived a lot of comfort from this, unknown to Mary. So may we too show our appreciation, help our neighbours, and appreciate what Jesus has done for us in his death. But read through the whole chapter, and with your hearts, try to understand what Jesus has done for us. But thank you for watching this morning, and take care. And I'm hoping to put a little bit of God's glory on the end of this video, but we'll see.